Now, to the surprise of, I suspect, virtually nobody, groundbreaking research has come to the shock conclusion that the apostrophe is the punctuation mark which presents most problems to most people. Not least as regular viewers will be infuriatingly aware, BBC producers and graphics personnel, and indeed, I'm ashamed to say, presenters as well. The apostrophe signifies possession or missing letters. Isn't is easy enough, but Queen's English depends how many queens, presumably. Take the greengrocer's favourite apostrophe, in pears, £1.60 a kilo. Where should the apostrophe go? When there's a missing letter, as in my coat's hanging up, for example. And finally, the Parents' Association. Right or wrong? So those are our marks for these sentences there. The last one is we're completely uncertain about, but joining us now to iron out the complexities of the apostrophe is David Crystal, Professor of Linguistics at Bangor University, author of A History of the English Language. Parents' Association, where's the apostrophe go?
I wish I could iron out these things. If I could iron out the apostrophe...
These are very important questions. You better have a view.
It's the most important question you've discussed this evening, I suspect, in the minds of many people.
Right, well, can you tell us where you think, in Parents' Association... There it is, the Parents' Association. Where's the apostrophe? Or is there no apostrophe?
Well, no apostrophe in that particular case. I mean, the possessive distinction is you put the apostrophe before the S if it's one, and after the S if it's a lot. Right. In a Parents' Association, of course, there are a lot of parents, so you'd expect the apostrophe to go after the S. But an awful lot of people think that the apostrophe clutters things up these days, and so they leave the thing out altogether. And that shows, in a sense, how irrelevant it is.
Absolutely. So if the common usage is not to employ the apostrophe, doesn't that demonstrate that the apostrophe is redundant? It's like a tie or it's an appendix or something.
Yeah. Well, it was the last punctuation mark to be standardised, Jeremy. You know, most punctuation marks came in towards the end of the 16th century. The apostrophe comes in, gets pulled in these different directions for these different functions, didn't get sorted out until the middle of the 19th century. It's really only about 150 years old. And as a result, people are still rather confused about what to do with it. And in a sense, you and I are talking now. There's no apostrophes in what we're saying, so that's the argument which says that maybe you could leave it out.
Well, is there something in the thought that it matters more when you're primarily in a written culture than when you're in an oral culture? People now talk much more. This medium has supplanted the written word in many areas. Maybe it's just a redundant thing now.
Well, the trouble with standard English and the punctuation system and the spelling system which makes it so is that once you put in a set of rules, people then feel they've got to have those rules at all costs. It's a sign of educatedness, if you like, that these things have got to be followed. The problem with things like the apostrophe and with a lot of punctuation is that the rules aren't black and white. There are these uncertain cases like Parents' Association and several others like it.
I've got a really good idea. We've got a very knowledgeable and literate audience. If any of you would like to send in examples of utterly fatuous apostrophes or terribly important apostrophes, please send them into the website. The address is up there now, bbc.co.uk/Newsnight. So, what do you think? Future of the apostrophe? Mighty matter.
Well, I think it's going to stay. There's no question about that. There's too much tradition behind it now. What I hope will happen is that people won't impose simplistic rules on the apostrophe, like you should never have an apostrophe with a plural. I can make you use an apostrophe with a plural in 10 seconds flat, Jeremy.
Go on.
Yeah? Dot your I's and cross the T's. How will you spell eyes? Plural of I.
Letter I, apostrophe S.
There you go. You see, apostrophe sometimes is used with a plural. Hence, the poor old greengrocer who says potatoes, apostrophe S, actually isn't as an exception as you might think.
But it's interesting. We were just talking. I mean, I think I'm in favour of abolishing the apostrophe, but if you did abolish it in the case of dot your I's, you would have the word is.
Exactly, and that's
a rather key mistake, isn't it?
And that's why it's important to keep the apostrophe, because it does include these examples where otherwise it would be very confusing. But remember this, when the English language started 1,000 years ago, there were no apostrophes, no punct stops, no nothing. There was no punctuation in Anglo-Saxon. Punctuation came later.
David Crystal, thank you very much indeed. I'm now thoroughly confused. Tomorrow morning's front pages. The Times goes with that awfully tragic story we were talking about earlier, Baby P. Same story is on the front page of The Guardian. The Daily Mail goes with the teenage girl, 13-year-old girl, who's refused a life-saving heart transplant. Brown will put up taxes, according to the Daily Express. And the Daily Telegraph, tracker mortgages are now apparently at their highest rates for years. That's all from Newsnight tonight. Despite running aground this morning, the QE2 left British waters for the last time this evening on its final voyage before retirement in Dubai. Good night.